your forecast first. Sponsored by Mattoon's Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Wow, it's been a really nice day across central Illinois. Temperatures in the 60s, 62 Springfield, Champaign, 63 in Effingham, and 70s just off to our west into parts of Missouri. The mild air going to stick around here as we head into your Friday, but the problem is more cloud cover is expected to move in and eventually some rainfall as well. Can't rule out a couple of sprinkles here tonight, but we're going to hold off on the widespread rain until we get into, we think, really later tomorrow night. So through this evening, just more clouds, mild temperatures still in the 50s, probably around midnight tonight. How about the rest of the weekend? What's it looking like? We'll take a look at that when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
We're planning to trying to make it as long as we have, supply.
It's a way to stay safe. How one family is helping cover up during this pandemic.
We're absolutely following every guideline that exists.
He says he is, but his drive-through clinic was still shut down. Where to now for the doctor?
I just got this overwhelming feeling that I needed to serve.
It's the epicenter for the outbreak in the U.S. Why one nurse says it's her calling to head to New York.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
We're just doing what we can to make as many as we can.
Personal protective equipment is in high demand during the pandemic, so a family in Coles County is doing what they can to print some for people in need. Good evening, I'm Jennifer ROSCOE. The family put a call out on social media asking where they can send their 3D printed face shields. WCIA 3's Andy Olson takes a look at how they're doing it and who they're helping.
Jack Laperouse of Mattoon has been 3D printing for close to 2 years. Now in 8th grade, Jack recently found an online tutorial of how to make face shields with his 3D printer. He and his family have turned their kitchen into a production line of sorts to help as many people who need these shields as possible.
The orange part that you see here is 3D printed, and that's what I'm printing. And the clear plastic is like overhead transparency film, and it's clear plastic, and we hole punch it and hole punch it again. That way it fits into the prongs.
Jack had all the 3D printer materials already, but the family is buying the plastic film that goes on the front of it. His mom, Deanna, says people are trying to help them out, but she says they're only in it to help others.
Yeah, there's been several offers from the community to help us as far as they don't cost a lot to make. It's less, it's about $1 per mask. So we're not looking to make any money. We just want to make as many as we can and get them out as fast as we can.
Deanna says nursing homes, caregivers, restaurants, and even nurses have reached out to her. They've already delivered to some places around Coles County that needed them. The 3D printer takes about 1 hour to make one. They say that's been the only holdup so far. As of today, they've made about 70 of them, and their plan is to keep going until the pandemic is over.
We're planning to trying to make it as long as we have, supply of the printing materials and the face shield part, and as long as there's a need for it in the community.
In Mattoon, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jack was partly inspired by a coronavirus case close to his heart. His uncle in New Orleans had been on a ventilator for 2 weeks. He recently got off, but the family is still wanting to help others to stop it from spreading. They have contacted one other person in the county with a 3D printer who's wanting to help out. The family says they could still use more, though. If you want to print your own, you can find ways to reach out on our website. Several central Illinois counties are reporting their first cases of the coronavirus disease. Piatt, DeWitt, Moultrie, and Logan have joined 57 other Illinois counties. Vermilion County has 2 more to bring their total to 4. Champaign County still leads in our viewing area with 46 cases. As for the state, there are 715 more people who are sick. That brings the total in Illinois to almost 7,700. The ages range from younger than 1 to older than 100. There are also 16 new deaths in the state today, bringing the total to 157. As we said, 2 of those were in Christian County. The governor launched a new campaign today to fight the outbreak, all in Illinois. It stresses the importance of staying home. You can show your support by updating your profile picture on social media or printing one of these signs and putting it in your window or yard. If you want one, just go to our website at WCIA.com and we'll link you to the new website. Here's an update for you. The Champaign doctor who was trying to offer drive-through testing says he's still trying to find a site to do it. Tom Plura runs Campus Town Urgent Care. He was going to oversee testing at the First Christian Church in Champaign, but it was shut down before it could start at the advice of public health. They said he would be going against CDC guidelines by testing people without symptoms. Plura says he's still trying to find a site to use his 8,000 tests because he says people are still a threat long before showing symptoms.
We're absolutely following every guideline that exists. They're not following the guideline. Public health is telling people that they know that have fever, cough, upper respiratory, don't even get tested. Just go self-quarantine. The problem with that is we know there are people that are symptomatic that aren't going and self-quarantining.
Now, we mentioned yesterday, Plura said he planned to file an injunction that's basically a court order asking someone to stop doing something that's hurting other people. He says he hasn't filed it because he's come to an understanding with the public health district. Following up now on a Danville factory, it's responding after workers complained to us they didn't think management was doing enough to keep them safe. Viscofan makes casings for the food industry. One of their workers tested positive for the virus. Employees told us what isn't happening inside the plant has some of them enraged. This morning, Viscofan gave us a statement saying they've implemented strict protocols for hand washing, social distance, and wearing protective equipment. HR told us, quote, while unfortunately we had an employee test positive, we took immediate action to identify other employees who may have had exposure. As a result, 2 were sent home with pay to quarantine. We understand we are in unprecedented times, and any employee who may not want to come to work is allowed to stay home without attendance points. The well-being of our employees and their families is our top priority. There are now nearly 100,000 cases of COVID-19 in the state of New York, by far the most in the country. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting talked to one Central Illinois nurse who's responding.
Nurses from around the country are being called to help, and Victoria Eads is no different. Now she's putting her experience to use.
And obviously my first thought was, oh no.
But eventually, Victoria Eads changed her mind. It was 2 weeks before the surge in cases in New York when she was asked if she'd be willing to go.
So I prayed about it over and over, and I just got this overwhelming feeling that I needed to serve.
Eads lives in Mahomet and is a nurse at University Rehab Center in Urbana. In just a few days, she'll be boarding a flight to work in the ICU and ER at a New York hospital.
The major hospitals, especially where I'm going in the Bronx, are affected tremendously. There's young nurses and doctors dying every day, and that's scary to me that I might not come home. You know, it's like going to fight a war.
Eads will be leaving her husband and 3 children and could be gone anywhere from 4 to 13 weeks. But she believes the cause is bigger than the fear she's feeling.
I mean, this is these people's most vulnerable times, and to be there is so rewarding.
That was Courtney Bunting reporting for us. Eads is asking for any extra personal protective equipment anyone has to donate to her. She's also asking people to sign up for a meal train to help her family while she's gone. We have information about ways to help on WCIA.com. We told you last week about people in Effingham who were headed to New York. These are 4 of the 6 members of Lakeside EMS who left Monday. They're trained EMTs and paramedics. They can't say what exactly they're doing, but they are helping with COVID-19 relief as well. A record number of people have filed for unemployment, but has anyone seen the money? Also tonight.
When the governor needs you, you do this.
The coronavirus is spreading through one Illinois prison. Who is being called in to help?
Well, let's recap today, where the high temperature made it to 63 above average on a roofing dog INET Gibson Area Hospital camera. Notice the clouds that have moved in there in Gibson City. More clouds, rain, and even thunderstorms returning into the forecast. We'll talk about the warm temperatures as well coming up.